Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Celeste and this is From Far Out. Today I have a video for you on the 4 sacred medicines in my Indigenous culture. These 4 sacred medicines are, I don't want to say universal, but they are fairly common among North American Indigenous communities. Every nation sort of has their own spin on it, understanding of the medicines, uses for the medicines. So disclaimer, I am Kanienkehaka. I spent a lot of time growing up on Anishinaabe and Mi'kmaq territories. So those are where most of my teachings come from. Those are the elders that I've worked with. I have seen these 4 sacred medicines also used in like central Canada, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, on the west coast in BC and the Yukon. But they're all a little bit different depending on what area you go in. So as always, I am not spewing 101 rules, do's and don'ts. I am just simply sharing my culture and hoping that it inspires some other people to get into their spirituality. I also want to do another small disclaimer. Smudging is considered by some cultures and communities a closed practice, so just be respectful of where you receive your medicines from, be respectful of how you use them, just be respectful of how you walk in this world. For me, in my personal opinion, I find that, you know, if it's a medicine that grows on Turtle Island, it was meant for all people of all nations, and all people deserve to receive the medicine that they provide and that Creator provides and that Mother Earth provides. So just be cautious and aware of what you're doing when you're using these medicines and when you're buying these medicines. You know, I'll mention a couple places where I purchase mine, because of course, like of course we want to like trade and barter, and I've definitely done that for some medicines. I've made earrings in exchange for like sweetgrass, freshly picked and stuff. And that kind of practice is important, but the reality is that's not accessible to all people. Even like people living on the reserve, that's not always accessible for everybody. So just be aware of those things. And yeah, tread with caution, I guess. But aside from all of that, I would like to get into these beautiful medicines. So the 4 medicines are tobacco, sage, sweetgrass, and cedar. Those are the 4 sacred medicines of Kanienkehaka people, of Anishinaabe people, of what I've seen in different communities. Up north, obviously, it's a lot different because, you know, the ecosystem is different, like above the tree line and stuff. So ask around, see what resonates with you, see what resonates with your community and your elders. But let me share a little bit about mine. I'm going to talk about how I use it, where I purchase it, and I'm going to talk about a couple of crystals that I use in association with the different medicines when I don't have the medicine to use and I want that energy. Some crystals that I can program with that energy, and some crystals that just work really well in conjunction if you're gritting or if you're manifesting or doing any kind of prayer work. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna start with tobacco. So in Kanienkehaka culture, tobacco is our first medicine. That is the first gift that Creator gave us. It is part of our creation story. When Creator, the twins, when they were finished creating Earth and everything was here, all of the people were here, he didn't want to leave. And he wanted to make sure that the people had constant communication with him, the people had access to the spirit world. My cat is climbing the windowsill, as always. And so he planted this medicine, and he said that if there's ever a time when we need to talk to him or when we need to commune with the spirit world, we can put some tobacco down, burn some tobacco, and that prayer will be sent up. And no matter what he's doing or where he is or how busy he is creating the whole universe, he will stop and he will talk to us. Actually, I have tobacco. Because of that story, I have tobacco. This is a tobacco plant. This is a different flower, but this big one with the big leaves and the little flowers on top, that's a tobacco plant. It is one of the most vital parts of my spiritual practice. So the 2 versions that you will commonly see, so the most common you'll see, the most common you'll see is like this shredded tobacco. I think you can smoke this. I don't know. I don't smoke tobacco, but this is much more common. I bought this in Kanienkehaka. It's my reserve in Quebec. I bought it at a little store called Wolf's Den. Tobacco in this form, okay, beep, 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 back up. So tobacco is incredibly sacred to Kanienkehaka people. It is incredibly hard to grow. This is my little kitten Cloud. She's the tiniest one. It's incredibly hard to grow. We have ancient seed trading, and they say that only women, when they're ready, can grow tobacco. So it's very easy to find tobacco in Kanienkehaka communities, in Mohawk territory in general, in Haudenosaunee territory in general. But it is harder to find. I've literally seen on the West Coast, I was doing a ceremony in Vancouver, and I've seen like an elder just rip open a cigarette straight up and use that. So to each their own. I'm not here to judge you on how you receive your tobacco or use your tobacco, but I guess the less processed, the like straight sacred Kanienkehaka tobacco is, it looks like this. It is straight up a giant leaf, and this actually is much harder to find, much harder to get a hold of. This I purchased from Turtle Lodge Trading Post. They're in Ontario. They only ship tobacco within Ontario. They'll ship all over the world, or at least North America. For their other things, they have cedar, tobacco, sage, all kinds of herbs and medicine. I got bear root from them. They have bear grease. I got that from them. I use it in my hair. It's really great. I'll do another video of like other naturalist medicines that I use, because I use a lot, but I really wanted to focus on these 4 for today. So this, I'm gonna try and see if I can pull out a full leaf. Yeah, there we go. So this is whole leaf tobacco. This is what I prefer to use to carry with me. I just chop up these leaves, keep them in my medicine pouch when I'm traveling, or in my bundle with me. So the ways that I would use tobacco is when I'm praying or needing to contact Creator, needing to contact Spirit, ancestors for whatever reason. I would either just like hold this and meditate on it, offer it to the ground, or burn it in like a little smudge bowl, however you burn your medicine. Tobacco is also really good to bring with you if you're gonna be, you know, picking berries, picking sweetgrass, taking anything from the land. You always want to offer tobacco when in either form. You always want to offer tobacco to the earth whenever you are taking something from her. That's like a whole other thing where like I don't want to explain everything. This will be like an 8-hour video. But if you're, let's say, you know, tapping maple trees or something, you would go to the leader of the trees and you would offer your tobacco and you ask permission, see if it's okay, receive your answer, and then tap, if applicable. But yeah, our tobacco is our gratitude, it's our offering, it's our prayer. That is our first spiritual connection. For me, it taps greatly into my crown chakra and my solar plexus chakra. That's sort of my spiritual power in that way. And for that reason, the crystals that I associate with tobacco is clear quartz and golden healer. So golden healer, I'll start there. Golden healer connects us to our Christ consciousness. It connects us to our hope, our gratitude, just knowing that the future is so bright and so beautiful. There are endless possibilities of joy and love in the world. And that speaks so much to the power of tobacco. Praying with tobacco and offering it to the earth when you're feeling very bogged down, when you're feeling very heavy, when you're just feeling hopeless and numb and empty, offering your tobacco, praying with your tobacco is a great way to let Spirit know that you need to be uplifted, to let Spirit know that you need to be picked up a little bit, given some wings, and I think that's such a beautiful message from Golden Healer. Now the second one, clear quartz. I love clear quartz obviously for programming, for creating intention. This is sort of an amplifier piece. It's so beautiful. And then I have this one, which I use as like a placeholder. If I'm making a grid, I'll put like a card on it, or I'll put medicines on it, or I'll put another crystal on it. And because of the directions, it kind of just charges my grid in all different directions, like in and out. It's really beautiful. So because clear quartz is programming and tobacco is how we communicate with Spirit. I'm sorry, this kitten is just a playful monster. She just wants to be in everything. So setting your intention with the clear quartz is a great way to communicate with Spirit. If you do not have tobacco, if you don't have access to tobacco at the time, because it is expensive. This is 500 grams and this was like almost $100. It can get very expensive tobacco, especially the whole leaf. I think, where did that go? This one is a little bit less, or definitely less expensive and easier to find when it's like shredded like this. And I think this was probably like $15, $20, something like that. Anyways, But yeah, setting your intention with clear quartz and using it to communicate with spirit, to tell the clear quartz what it is you need, what it is you want, what it is you're looking for, but also what it is you are offering. So when you are communing with your ancestors, you want to make sure that you are giving as much as you are taking. So sending prayers of gratitude, sending prayers of love, just listing the things that you are happy to have and happy to receive as well. So that's tobacco. Y'all, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know my cats love the bucket. This is bucket girl number 2. Maple is my original bucket girl, and she's my second bucket girl. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. So let's go into cedar. I did also purchase this from Turtle Lodge Trading Post. This is, let me open it. These just came in, and that's what inspired me to do this video since they're all new. I ripped it, and I didn't even need to. It wasn't sealed. So this is like straight up cedar leaves. Now, cedar is known for being an opener. So if you are feeling very closed off, disconnected, you know, quiet, you know, you feel like things are just changing within you and you don't really know how to receive that change, you're having a difficult time with transformation, cedar is the direction that you want to go in. Similar to tobacco, you can burn it in a sponge bowl, you can offer it to the land, you can sit and pray with it. That's basically how I use all of these medicines. But cedar and sage are the ones that I burn the most. Tobacco I offer in prayer, and then sweetgrass I burn sometimes and use in meditation a lot more, or just like use in the space, but we'll get there. Anyways, so continuing with cedar, this is a cedar bundle. So you might also see it like this in a bit of a more dried out yellowy color, and then a bundle you just burn and use in the space. So opening up with cedar, really letting and you'll be able to smell it and hear it when it burns. So letting that smell just sort of invigorate you, open your lungs, open your communication channels, just really letting yourself start new, break off the shell. I love, love, love using cedar for that. A couple of crystals that I like to associate with cedar are green tourmaline, huge heart opener, huge pathway opener, and malachite. Transformation, detoxification, you get the vibe. So cedar, when you burn it, you will hear that popping sound. And I always say in all of my videos that I love sound healing. I love ASMR. I love, I love the feeling of healing with sound. It is so invigorating. It, you know, cracks through all of that stagnant energy, and it creates that sound, which creates energy that you can harness to use in your manifestation, to use in your healing, to use for however you feel. So cedar is a really powerful, powerful medicine. It is a fresh start, a transformation, a new beginning. I absolutely love cedar. And cedar is very common and very easy to pick. I have literally picked it off of like shrubs in people's yards. I've picked it off of all kinds of things. Of course, every time you pick, you want to offer your tobacco so that you are not taking anything without permission or without gratitude. But cedar is very, very, very easily accessible. This is 100 grams, and I believe this was like, I want to say not more than $20. Cedar is very, very accessible, so I would recommend it as the #1. I don't believe cedar burning or cedar smudging in general, oh my goodness, I don't think cedar is considered closed practice. I think that's more sage, sweetgrass, and tobacco, because cedar is so common and so accessible. So maybe start there if you are new to any of these medicines. Yeah, cedar is one of my favorite ones. So let's move on to the classic sage. This is the only sage I have right now. I have not purchased any like loose leaf sage. That's my favorite to burn. I find these smudge sticks sometimes, they're just like really hard to get any smoke out of. And you know, obviously the smoke is the most important part. So with smudging, white sage, this is your classic purification, your cleansing, your releasing. So if you're gonna go in any kind of order to smudge for a healing ceremony or whatever it is, I'm gonna start with tobacco. I'm going to call my spirit. I am going to let creator and let all of my ancestors into my space. And then I'm going to use my cedar to open myself, really, you know, break that mist, break that shell, break the things that I'm holding on to, just let go of everything I don't need. And then I'm going to bring in sage to do all of the clearing, all of the cleansing, all of the purification. It's it's not something that I use on its own. I definitely don't just do like a straight up sage cleanse, because then I feel sometimes that can get me caught in a vacuum. If I'm not like opening and refreshing, and I'm not, you know, like bringing in anything new, Sweetgrass is what I would use afterwards to bring in like good vibes and stuff, but we'll get to that. I wouldn't use it on its own. I definitely like to pair my sage with things as a purification so that I don't get caught in the vacuum. I'm not like releasing things and just letting it back in because, you know, I'm empty and I didn't like refill kind of thing. So the crystals that I associate with sage would obviously be selenite, again, classic cleanser, classic purifier, but also black tourmaline. I know this looks like black kyanite because it's bladed, but it's not. It's black tourmaline, I promise. It's just a really cool growth pattern. So with these two, black tourmaline doesn't hold negative energy. It's not a crystal that needs to be cleansed. I do cleanse it sometimes, or like charge it, just, you know, for the vibes. But in general, it is a crystal that doesn't hold its energy. It will break through things. It will clear things out. It will cleanse things. But because it's not holding anything, it's not going to bring any new energy. It's just going to clear it out. And same with selenite. Selenite is a little bit more white light cleansing. So you will get a little bit of that like spiritual rejuvenation kind of vibe. So these are my favorite cleansing crystals along with my cleansing medicine. And then once we are opened and cleared out, that is when I like to bring in my sweetgrass. I love sweetgrass. You can find it in this dried version where it's gonna be very yellow. And then you can also find it a little bit fresher. It's gonna look very green. I got this from Turtle Edge Trading Post as well. I think one braid is, oh my gosh, she's running away with the sweetgrass. I think one braid like this is $3. It is incredibly inexpensive, incredibly accessible, and sweetgrass is such a beautiful vibe. So sweetgrass is known as the hair of Mother Earth, and we treat it as such. It is a very motherly, nurturing vibe. This is a 21 strand. 21 is a very sacred number in our culture. So there's 3 strands of 7 pieces, all made up in this 21 strand sweetgrass braid. 7, 3, and 21 are my divine feminine numbers. Those are very, very innately connected to Mother Earth and the fertility that she offers. So I absolutely love to use sweetgrass. I burn it, I sit with it in meditation, or I just keep it in different areas of my house that need that uplifting, fertile, feminine vibe. It's gonna bring you some beautiful, beautiful energy. And I always use it after burning with sage, because sage, again, will clear you out, and then you call in that good vibe, that heart lifting, that growth energy. When I say divine feminine, again, if you watch any of my other videos, it is not gendered. I am not talking about any kind of gender identity. Divine femininity has absolutely nothing to do with your personal gender. And it really is not even gendered in general. It's just sort of an entity. But if, you know, these gender deities don't resonate with you, that's totally fine. It's just a very Mother Earth vibe. So on that note, the crystals that I like to associate with sweetgrass, I have a lot more than like 2 that I've been doing with the other ones, because I just love sweetgrass so much. So I'm gonna start with ocean jasper. This is a green ocean jasper egg. This piece specifically, I wouldn't associate all ocean jasper with sweetgrass. I guess kind of, it really depends. Ocean jasper is a very calming and releasing and cleansing crystal, and I love that paired with the sweetgrass vibe of Mother Earth. This one specifically, because it's an egg and because it's green, it connects more with like the growth in our heart, that like the ability to create, you know, the egg vibe, where it is ready to be fertilized and be made into something new. So perfect for manifestation. I also love moss agate paired with sweetgrass. So this is a moss agate, angel moss agate, of course. Mother Earth vibes, growth, plentiful, fruitful vibes. And then two more. We'll run through these. I really don't want this to be like a 45-minute video. So this is Rose quartz, of course, the crystal of unconditional love, knowing that you deserve the goodness that Mother Earth offers. You deserve all of the medicine that Mother Earth offers, whether you feel like you fit into any kind of category, whether you meet any goals, regardless of anything you've ever wanted to do. This is so cute. Regardless of anything, you are deserving of and worthy of the medicine that Mother Earth offers. And remembering that, like, if we weren't meant to be sick, if we weren't meant to have hardships and difficulties, then we wouldn't have been offered these medicines. These medicines are here to heal us, because being, I don't want to say broken, but, you know, going through phases where you need extra medicine is the reason that Creator and Mother Earth put these things here for us to use. So never be afraid of, you know, admitting that you're kind of in a place where you need some extra support. Never be afraid of using these medicines because you don't fit into category A, B, or C. And that's why I'm so adamant about understanding that all people, regardless of race, regardless of any kind of identity, deserve to use these medicines. Of course, there are people who do it respectfully and do it disrespectfully, and, you know, there are conversations to be had, but in general, all humans, all people deserve to use the gifts that Mother Earth and Creator sent for us. So rose quartz, love that. And then finally, the last crystal that I like to associate with Sweetgrass is kunzite. I have two little pieces of kunzite. Kunzite you can find, it's just a spodumene, so you can find it in a couple of different colors. Pink is the most common, and then there's hiddenite, which is the green one. This is a little bit green. I think you can find it like clear and yellow, some other different colors. This is a tower of kunzite, just a little bit lower quality, but still has a pretty pink color. Very beautiful. Kunzite is the mother's stone. It is all about nurturing and care and offering energy to yourself and those that you love around you, really connecting to that web of love. Right, so those are the 4 sacred medicines. That is how I use them in my practice. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope this inspired some kind of spiritual practice in yourself. I hope this offered a little bit of knowledge. Again, I'm not making any rules. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. I'm simply sharing my experience and what I do. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Peace and love from far out.